welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or if you're coming over from the playlist, I'm Holly. Welcome, I'm happy to have you here. Today I'm sharing with you a collaboration video. It is called Fall Food Fridays, and it will be every Friday of October that we will be posting fall foods. It is being hosted by Falon from Moss Family TV. She has a vlog style family channel, and she posts videos every day, and she shares recipes, grocery hauls, her family life. It's a very good channel. I enjoy watching it, and I believe that you would as well. And I'm also going to leave the link to Fallon's channel in the description box, and if I'm able to link the playlist, I will also do that as well. Now I'm going to show you what I made for this video, and I hope that you enjoy it. And the first recipe I'm making is so easy, and not just for autumn or fall. Whole chickens are great any time of the year, but this just has a nice flavor to it. But you will need at least a 4.5 to 5 pound whole chicken, and mine is just a little over 5 pounds. You will also need 2 onions peeled and cut into 12 wedges. So 2 onions gave me about 6 wedges each. And for the seasoning, it called for 1.5 teaspoons of fine ground sea salt. I did not have fine ground, so I'm just using 1 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and it calls for 1/4 teaspoon of minced fresh rosemary leaves. We don't like rosemary, so I'm using thyme instead. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 Fuji apples cored and cut into 16 wedges. And I also peeled it. It didn't say you have to, so if you want to leave the peelings on, you can. I just went ahead and peeled it. And this is not part of the recipe, but usually when I do a chicken or turkey or anything, I will put some butter that's seasoned underneath the skin, and I find that helps to season the meat that's under the skin, because the breast of a chicken or a turkey sometimes can be dry, so I just like to put the butter on it just to kind of give it some seasoning that it may not get originally. So that's just an option. You do not have to do this. I just find it helps to season that meat a little bit better. Then take the seasoning, and you want to just mix that up to combine all of those ingredients together. And then you will take 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, and you're going to make a paste. So make sure that it's only 2 tablespoons, because if you add more, it will turn into more of a soupiness. So to have it somewhat thick, just 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And once you get that thick consistency, then you will take, you can either use your hands and rub this into the chicken if you want. I decided just to use the spoon, and I'm just going to place that seasoning over the chicken, and I'll make sure that I get it on the wings and on the thighs and the legs as well. But you just want to make sure you coat the chicken with this, and also try to get a little bit underneath the skin, so that way the chicken breast will also have some of that seasoning as well. And I'm just going to spray my crock pot with the olive oil spray. If you want, you can use a crock pot liner. Either way would work. Less mess to kind of clean up. Then I just place the onion wedges in the bottom of the crock pot, and I'll turn them a little bit just on the side. That way they're not moving around too much. Put the chicken on top of the onions, and I did not have kitchen twine to truss up the legs. So I just took some aluminum foil and kind of rolled it up. And then I just wrapped that around the legs, the end of the legs. And that holds it together a little bit better. And this step is not necessary. It's just something I prefer to do. You will cover this and then put it on low for 3 hours, and then after 3 hours we will put the apples in. And this smelled so good when I took that lid off. Oh my gosh, just all of the seasonings. But the next step would be to put the apples in, and I think I would have put them in maybe 2 hours before it was done, because they did kind of, you don't want to put them in at the very beginning because they will disintegrate into nothing. But I feel like if I would have put it in maybe 2 hours in, there might have been just a little bit more left to it. So, because some of them did sort of disappear into this, but the apples do give it a nice flavor. And you want to just place them around the chicken. And I even put some inside of the chicken. That way I feel like that kind of helps to flavor from the inside out, if that makes sense. Normally I would put onions and everything into the cavity of the chicken, so that's completely up to you. I just find it helps to add a little bit more flavor. Now you will cover it again, put it on low, and to put it on for 3 more hours. That should cook it through completely. And this is what it looked like when it was done. You can see some of the apple is still there. Some of it kind of got lost in it. But I just made some of this instant butter and herb mashed potatoes, and we had some Brussels sprouts that I did in the oven, and I just have the onion and some apple on the side, because I find that does add flavor when you're eating the meat of the chicken, and the onion and the apples kind of have that flavoring of all the seasoning. It just has a nice flavor to it. But this is really a good meal, a nice flavorful chicken, and great. You can have leftovers as well. You can do other things with the chicken if you wanted to add to another meal. But really a delicious chicken. And for this recipe, I'm going to show you how to make a pecan pumpkin crunch cake. Very easy to make and very simple ingredients. But for the recipe, you will need a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. And you want to make sure it's the puree, not the pie mix. 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. 4 large eggs. And for the spices, you will need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And for the pecan crunch layer, you will need 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of chopped pecans, and a stick of unsalted butter, and you want that at room temperature and cut into small little pieces, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you how easy it is to put this delicious dessert together. Just take a bowl, and you want a large enough bowl to do this. Put your pumpkin puree in first, add the heavy cream, then add the vanilla, the 4 eggs, granulated sugar, the brown sugar, and I like to just kind of break it up a little bit, and then just mix your spices together and then add that to your bowl. And all you will do is take a whisk, and you will whisk this, and it doesn't take very long at all. You just want to make sure all of those ingredients are fully incorporated. To a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, you want to add either Baker's Joy or nonstick spray so nothing sticks. Then take your mixture, which will be soupy. It's going to be very watery. And the recipe says that it would be, and I'm glad it did because I would have been a little worried. Set that aside. Add to another bowl the flour, the brown sugar, the cinnamon, and I just break it up a little bit with the whisk just to kind of mix it all in. Then add the butter, and you want to cut that in with a fork. And normally I would just break those into very little pieces and spread it out, but I just kind of dumped it all in. Then take a third of that mixture once you have it mixed up, add it to the pumpkin mixture that you have in your pan, and you're just going to spread it out. Now to the rest of this mixture you will add the pecans, and you want to make sure to stir it in well and get that coated so that way everything sort of tries to stick together as much as it can. And then you will take the rest of this and spread it evenly on top, and I just try to cover all of that pumpkin mixture as much as I can. And you will bake this in the oven on 350 for about 45 minutes to 55 minutes. And once this comes out of the oven, you will let it sit just for a little bit. You want to let this cool before you cut it and serve it. But I just put some whipped cream on top with some caramel sauce, and it was a good dessert. I was surprised that it wasn't as sweet as I thought it would be with the sugar and everything. So it is not a very sweet dessert. So if you like something that's less sweet, then this one would be it. I may add just a little bit more sugar next time. And please don't forget to go and check Falon's channel out at Moss Family TV. I will leave that link below. And if I can link the playlist, I will do that as well. Otherwise, go to her channel and you can see the playlist in her video. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in seeing more like it, please click that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that will notify you when I post new videos. I hope everyone has a blessed day. God bless y'all.